Well, that did certainly not go well. No, so what do we do now? Well, it's pretty obvious. We've got to flip two of them. Or, to help us out, we can go look for the idol. Why don't we do that? So, after we come back from Tribal, me and Phoebe are on the bottom, which is disappointing because before Tribal we felt like we were in a very comfortable situation, and I was kind of blindsided by the move. I don't trust Dave anymore. He is willing to flip, around and stuff, and that could be quite dangerous. But now could be a perfect time to go and look for the idol, because if they see me looking, they'll be thinking like, well, he's on the bottom, that kind of makes sense and stuff like that. So it's probably a good cover. Where is it? Well, I'm not letting them have that. So I see Jim looking for the idol. So after we come back from Tribal, everything started to escalate quickly. And so instead of wasting time trying to confront him, I'll go looking for it myself. I want the idol, and I can't let Jim have it for himself because he's on the bottom, and if he has it, that's too much power. Come on, where is this stupid thing? Wait, is that? Oh, I think I found it. Finding the idol is a great feeling, because Dave was looking for it and I beat him to it. I think I'm going to tell Phoebe, but at the same time, I'm thinking, well, I've got to hold on to this, because idols are power, and the longer I have it, the better it is for me, and so I don't want to play it if we lose. I want to at least try and get votes onto Dave, and if that fails, well then, I'll have to play it. Look at this. No way, you found it? Yeah, I found it. This is huge. Well, thanks for telling me. You're my ally, why wouldn't I? Jim finding the idol is honestly perfect. I don't know if he's going to play it though, anytime soon. I have a feeling that me and him are going to still try and flip some people, pull some strings, keep it between us for as long as possible. So hopefully when we get to a point like the merge, or even the tribe swap, then we can use it. Well done, Carl and Liz. You managed to get over a very toxic feud. Yeah, well, we've got a majority here. Jim and Phoebe, who do you pick? Probably Jim. Why Jim? Well, he was looking for the idol, and so I think he's probably a bigger threat than Phoebe. Well, physically, Phoebe I think is a bit stronger, but I think Jim's more of a player. Okay, Jim it is. Working with Dave is honestly ideal. I know it doesn't really sound like it is because he does have a tendency to flip. We saw that last night. But Dave is honestly a big meat shield. And if I continue to work with him and he continues to be a vote with me, then once you get to a place like the merge, I can use him as a meat shield to hide behind to make big moves. So, yeah, working with Dave is honestly ideal. But I need to keep my eyes open for a potential blindside against him because he is very power hungry. And I can't let him try and topple me before I topple him. You're very silent. Yeah, I don't really know about the move. I'm all for being like a villain, but, Veronica was still a vote with us, and I don't really trust Carl. But the good thing is you might not even need to work with Carl long term, because, think about it, Jim and Phoebe, even if Jim has the idol or something, I don't really know, they still need us for votes and stuff, so we're kind of still swing votes. Yeah, I suppose you could look at it like that. Dave is a big threat, but he's also kind of right, because if Jim and Phoebe don't have the idol and stuff, they don't have the numbers, they're going to have to depend on us. They don't have very good connections with Steve and Carl, so I think me and Dave are their best hope in this game. So, yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with the position I'm in. So, yeah, voting out Veronica was definitely the right decision. I must ask, how do you bond with Liz? I don't really like Liz, I don't trust Dave. I do like Steve, and I think Steve's very adamant of working with those two. Why do you ask? Well, obviously we're on the bottom, and we don't trust Dave and Liz either. So I was wondering if you and Steve would be willing to work with us, but we want to connect with you more. Well, I like you two, I like Steve obviously more, me and him are close allies, but I do like you two more than most likely Liz and Dave. I trust Steve more than anybody else in this game, but, Jim and Phoebe are two people I can see myself connecting with. I don't like Liz. Dave seems very power-driven, so So I don't really mind flipping, but I want to follow Steve around. I don't want to be riding his coattails. But right now, I trust Steve more than anybody, so realistically what he does is arguably for the best. What do you guys want? Well, we know you probably don't trust us after our betrayal of Veronica, but you still need to work with us. I mean, yeah, I understand that, but, like, what do you propose? Well, so, like, as much as we, like, flipped, and that was kind of a bit hypocritical for us to, like, go flip on you guys and then flip on them again, but, you know, we're still willing to work with you, we just didn't trust Veronica. Interesting. So you're still willing to work with us? Yep. Probably gonna get rid of Carl or Steve. Probably Carl, because I still value him as more of a threat than Steve. Interesting. Keeping up very good connections with Jim and Phoebe is at utmost importance right now, because if we can get them to still trust us, then we can use them as numbers, and then Steve and Carl as numbers, so me and Liz will be running the show. Yeah, Dave, I don't really trust you, but at the same time, if you are genuine, it could be an important thing. As much as I like Carl and Steve, you know, Liz and Dave have been, I allied with them on day, like, 1, so obviously I probably prefer to work with them, but, you know, Carl I do have a lot of respect for, and I don't know if I can trust Dave and Liz fully. That's so funny. Thank you. Hey Lena, can we go for a quick talk? Okay. As much as I respect Sarah, and I know she's like my ally, I think she's a big threat to the point where working with her long term will be dangerous. And so I need Lena on the right page, which will be difficult because I think her and Lena are friends, but honestly I think I can persuade her that Sarah is the biggest threat here, because she is. I don't want to come across as a big threat here, but have you noticed how, well, big of a threat Sarah is? Honestly, yes. You have? Yeah, she's been spending a lot of time with Lucas and Marjorie, especially trying to, you know, get good connections with them. I mean, Ned and stuff still trust her. Everyone really likes her. So yeah, I think she is probably the biggest threat here. Should we try and take a shot at her? I mean, not necessarily, not this early in the game, because I think we can still trust her. I mean, will it be worthwhile trying to take a shot at one of her allies, like Marjorie or Lucas? What do you mean? Well, I think we can trust Sarah more than the other two. And Marjorie is, well, if you had a conversation with Charles, is very strategic. And honestly, he's right. Yeah, and she's kind of a liability when it comes to strength as well. But she is old, so I'll give her that. True. So, Lindsay's like, hey, have you noticed how much of a threat Sarah is? And honestly, yes, I see it. She is a very big threat. Me and her have been quite close friends for a while, but she hasn't really spoken to me for a while. She seems to be very close with Marjorie and Lucas, and I think they're gonna, like, weasel me out a little bit, like, get closer with Sarah. That's the point. If we get to Final 5, I'll get voted out, maybe Final 4 or Final 5. And I don't want that, so yes, maybe taking a shot at one of her allies is smart. Not Sarah herself, because I think I can still trust her, but like someone like Marjorie or Lucas. Probably Marjorie, because she is more of a, well, she has more people trying to get rid of her. So we've been talking, me and Lena, and we're thinking of probably blindsiding Marjorie. Yes. What? Why? Well, Sarah's a big threat, and I know it kind of makes more sense to take a shot at Sarah, but I think we can trust her more. But like Marjorie and Lucas, I mean, Lucas is a big physical threat, and Marjorie's like very strategic, exactly. Plus, she doesn't really contribute when it comes to strength, and I think, you know, overall in challenges, that could be a bit of a liability. I mean, I understand that. Yep, I'm good for it. This is great. This is honestly great. I get an opportunity to take out somebody I wanted to take out, and you know, for the last, wow, what is it, 6-7 days, I have not been in like a majority alliance where anybody's really been talking to me because of the bad start I made, which was purely my fault. But now I have an opportunity to take out Marjorie, and I love this because Marjorie, as much as I like her, I think she's a big threat and I think she has to go. What do you think? Well, I'm not 100% sure. Me neither. I think we should keep our options open, to be honest. I think strategically that's the best thing for our game. Well, you're getting surprisingly good at talking now, aren't you? I've had my fair share of lessons in this game. So, um, so I haven't been off to a good start socially. So maybe I can roll up my sleeves and focus on my strategic game. And for me and Ned, the best strategic option is consider our options. We've got a vote out on Marjorie, or me and him can go up to Sarah, Marjorie, and Lucas and say, this is their plan. We're willing to work with you to take out, I don't know, Lindsay, Charles, or Lena. And I think honestly that's best for my game because it's a big strategic move. Well, it's not the biggest move, but it's a move nonetheless. And I gain respect and I socialise with more people. So my game's on a rise, and it's only been about a week. So it's 7 days into Survivor, and there hasn't really been a real alliance pop up. I tried to form one, that didn't really go anywhere. Lucas tried to form one, at least that's what I've heard. That didn't really go anywhere. And then Sarah formed one that lasted a little bit longer, but that didn't really go anywhere because two of her allies are willing to flip. And now me and Mike have an opportunity to join one of those sides and make a big move between either Marjorie or, well, whoever the other three want out. You know, and that could be important for our games. So we wanted to talk to you three about what? Well, Lena and Lindsay came up to me, Ned and Charles, and said, hey, we should, like, Sarah's a big threat, we should take out Marjorie. What? Yeah, they say they wanted to take out Marjorie because, well, they still trust you, Sarah. I mean, they don't really trust Marjorie or Lucas, and they thought Marjorie was more of a strategic threat. Huh. Thank you for telling us. I'm honestly baffled and kind of saddened by the news I just got from Mike and Ned. I mean, I get the move Lindsay's trying to make, but from Lena? Girl, I thought we were friends. Don't really know what made it tick, but, you know, do I trust Mike and Ned? Probably, actually, because they wouldn't be telling me if they were trying to get us to split up. And I honestly, well, as much as I don't really trust Mike, you know, Ned has a very good game, well, solid game of what I've seen. And I don't think he's the type to lie. So honestly, maybe working with them's a smart idea, but I shouldn't rule out the fact that they might be lying just yet. Wow, well that was a surprise. Yeah, I don't trust any of them. What do you mean? Well, Mike's just socially awkward, and Ned, well, he's like I think he values the game more than everybody else on that side. So I think they could be lying to us. Overall, I am a little bit concerned because my name's hopped up, but maybe Lucas is right. Yep, well, how many of us trust Mike, honestly? Like, he's very socially awkward. He's a bit weird. I mean, maybe he is telling a lie. Yeah, as much as I think he's telling the truth, I think he's probably right. I mean, I've really tried. I mean, as much as they could be telling the truth, I mean, Mike's social game has almost become a joke at this point. He hasn't really talked to anybody except, well, everybody at the same... He hasn't really talked to anybody, but he's talked to everybody at the same time, if that makes sense, because the conversations don't really classify as a conversation. It's just more a pause followed by a statement, then a pause again. It's just very awkward talking to him. And Ned, well, he's very unpredictable, I think is the right word. He seems to be playing a very solid game. He has an idle clue. We've still got to make sure he doesn't find it. And yeah, so I think it's a bunch of bullcrap and we shouldn't just fall for it just yet. Marjorie, can we talk? Sure. No one trusts me. I need your help. What do you mean? Everyone thinks I'm socially awkward. I know it. I know it myself. I need your help. I'm telling the truth. They're coming after you. Well, Mike, slow down. Just run through it slowly. I know I'm socially awkward, and I wanted to talk to you because people like you. And so I want to form a duo with you. What do you mean? Well, I like you because people really seem to be fond of you, and I just think if me and you work together, like I'm socially awkward and you're very social, no one's going to see that as a tight group, and I need your help. Plus, they are coming for you, so you need my help as well, and I think that could be a really good duo. Well, you might be socially awkward, but you do talk a good plan. Mike baffles me, but honestly, if he's willing to duo with me, And that's good because maybe I can trust him, because he might not be telling a lie after all about the fact that Charles, Lena and Lindsay are flipping to get rid of me. So hopefully, everything goes according to plan, and, he's willing to work with me and he's willing to do it with me, and I can, teach him, some things along the way. And plus, he's not wrong about, the two of us working together and nobody noticing that, because he's socially awkward and I'm very social. No one's going to see those two characteristics working together. So, I'm a bit panicked because nobody trusts me, but then I had a brainwave. What if I get somebody that people trust to do all the socializing for me? If I go up to Marjorie, for example, who people really trust because she's very good at socializing, and people respect her opinions because of how smart she really is. I go up to her and say, maybe me and you should form a duo. What I mean by that is that I give you stuff to say and you get people to trust me. And so I just take the social game out of my gameplay, which is something that I've been really bad at, and they get her to do it for me so people trust me. I mean, it might be it's not really a foolproof plan, but at the moment I think it's the best for my game. And I think it's a unique strategy that no one's ever seen before. Are you ready to get to your third immunity challenge? Yeah! First things first, Te Waka getting your first look at the new Te Ika tribe. Veronica, voted out at last night's tribal council. Okay, for today's challenge, all the members of the tribe will race across this obstacle course. The first tribe to get all their members across will win immunity. Safe from the vote? Losers tribal council, where somebody will be the third person voted out for this game. Te Waka, you have 2 extra members, sitting 2 people out. Charles can't be the person to sit out. Okay, once you get that done, we'll get started. Okay, for Te Ika, Steve will be racing first, and for Te Waka, Charles will be racing first. Mike and Marjorie will be sitting out. Okay, survivors ready? Go! Steve and Charles are on to the first stage of this challenge. Steve and Charles seem to be neck and neck. Steve and Charles make it to the third platform, but Charles falls over, almost falling on the ground. Reminder, if you fall on the ground, you have to go back to the beginning. Steve makes it to the next stage of the obstacle course, while Charles is still recovering from his fall. Steve is into the next phase of this challenge. Charles is trying to catch up, but he is behind. Steve has almost finished the obstacle course. Charles is still behind. Steve has finished the obstacle course. The next team member can go. Meanwhile, Charles has almost finished the obstacle course. Charles has finished the obstacle course. His next team member can go. Liz is out in the obstacle course for Te Ika. Te Ika have a lead. Both Liz and Sarah working hard at their respective phases of this challenge. Ooh, Liz almost falls over, jumping to the third platform. This gives Sarah an opportunity to catch up. Liz and Sarah up to the same place. Te Waka have caught back up. Sarah and Liz almost finished this first phase of the challenge. Both girls are on to the next phase of this challenge respectively. Te Waka have fought back well. Both Sarah and Liz are about to finish the obstacle course. Liz and Sarah finish the obstacle course. The next people can go. We have Jim and Lindsay out on the course now. Lindsay gets to the second platform. Jim takes a big jump and skips the second platform, making it to the third platform, putting Te Ika in front. Lindsay makes it to the third platform. Jim is on the fourth platform. Jim's tactics have got him in front. Lindsay is on the final platform. Jim takes another big jump and is now on the big mound on the second phase. Jim is about to finish this challenge. Lindsay is onto the second phase of this challenge. Jim finishes the challenge. The next person can go. Meanwhile, Lindsay is about to finish the challenge. Lindsay finishes the challenge. The next person can go. Meanwhile, Phoebe is out on the course for Te Ika. Te Ika are back in front. Phoebe also takes the big jump. Lena is working her way through this first phase of this obstacle course, but Te Ika have a huge lead. Phoebe almost finished with this first phase of the challenge. Lena tries to do a big jump, but she falls. Phoebe working her way over the second phase of the challenge. Oh, and Lena can't hold on. She falls off. She has to go back to the start. Phoebe is about to finish the obstacle. And Lena has to go back to the start, putting Te Waka at a disadvantage. Phoebe finishes the course. The next person can go. Lena takes a big jump again, and this time it is successful. But how far has she put her team behind by? The next person from Teika can go. Carl is making his way over the obstacle course. Lena has almost finished this leg of the obstacle course. Lena has to make up some ground, as Carl also takes the big jump and it is successful. Carl is really flying through this like the other two members of Teika. Carl is working hard. Lena is about to finish the obstacle course. Carl takes another big jump. Lena finishes the obstacle course. The next person can go. Carl finishes the obstacle course. Dave can go. Both Ned and Dave are out on the course, but Te Waka are behind because they've still got Lucas to run. The only way they can win at the moment is if Dave makes a horrible mistake. Ned makes a big jump. Dave makes a big jump, but he almost falls off. Ned makes a jump onto the second phase of the challenge. Dave is still recovering from his fall. Dave makes it to the final platform. Ned has almost finished the obstacle course. Ned finishes the obstacle course. Lucas can go, but is it too little too late? Dave jumps. He almost falls again. Wow, Lucas flies forward to the third platform. Can he get his team back in this challenge? I doubt it though, because Dave has almost finished. Wow, Lucas is flying forward. Jeff. But it's too late. Dave makes it back, meaning Teika get all 6 members there first, meaning they win immunity for the first time this season. Congratulations Teika on winning immunity. You guys are safe from the vote. Te Waka, unfortunately you will have to lose your first member of this game. Grab your stuff, head back to camp. I'll see you tonight. So, we were in front very early on and then they kind of caught back up to us. So I said to my team, hey, just skip the second platform and just jump really fast to try and get the third one. I knew it was risky, but when it pulled off, and I think that's why we won the challenge. So I think I personally won the challenge for my team, but you know, it was a team effort at the same time as well, so I take nothing away from the rest of them. Losing sucks, especially because I could be painted as a weak member of the tribe, along with people like Marjorie and Mike, so I could be going home for that. But hopefully the people who said they're going to try and get rid of Marjorie goes through with it, and then I stay here a little bit longer. So overall I am a little bit confident, but we'll have to see. So is the plan still Marjorie? Yep. Well, should we consider voting out Lucas? What do you mean? But did you see how aggressive he was at the end of that challenge? He'll be a huge threat, physical threat overall, later on in the game. It seems very dangerous to take him into the merge, potentially. Yeah, but we might not, we can always throw a challenge to get rid of him whenever we wanted to, right? You know that. I guess so. So, skip Lucas for now? Yep. Yeah, I think Marjorie, because Lucas is overall still an asset to this tribe. But yeah, Lena's right. If we want him out, we can just throw the challenge. Yep. Okay, Marjorie it is. I don't want to sound indecisive or anything, but Lucas is probably one of my biggest threats. It's, in my opinion, the biggest threat in this game. Well, strategically and socially, he's probably not the biggest threat. That's probably Sarah, but physically, he will be dangerous. And I know I've been changing my targets around a little bit, you know, because well, it's Survivor. You change targets a lot, but I think Lucas is the biggest threat in this game, and I think he needs to go home, well, reasonably soon. So I think Marjorie's the decision tonight, but I don't want to overlook Lucas this early on in this game. So what do you think? Well, I talked to the other side. They were fine with it, but when I walked away, they said that I was socially awkward and just nothing really nice. So that didn't really help me. But also, I think we still should consider our options. I mean, how much do you trust Charles? Not at all. yeah, he's very untrustworthy. But at the same time, I don't think the other three really trust us either. So if these three, Lena, Lindsay, and Charles trust us, maybe we should stick with them. Yeah, but overall, Charles is a bit of a loose cannon. So me and Mike are swing votes. However, we don't think the other three are willing to work with us because, well, they don't really trust Mike because he's socially awkward, and they might think that I'm a big game player, which I am. But the other three of Lindsay, Lena, and Charles, we don't mind Lindsay or Lena, but Charles is a very loose cannon because I think people think he has the idol. No one really does, but I've got the idol clue, which I'm fine with him being targeted for it. And that could be a reason why he goes home, and that could be a reason why we don't really work with them. But me and Mike are willing to keep our options open. You know, we'll see what's going on. So what's the plan? Obviously, we're going to have to try and get Mike and Ned on board because it's just going to be a waste of time trying to get the other three on board. But who's our target? So I was thinking one of the two girls because obviously they're cheating on us, but at the same time, Charles is a very loose cannon. I know Ned has like the idol clue and all, but Charles, man, I wouldn't be surprised if he's already stumbled across the idol. What do you mean? Well, what day is it now? It's day 9, and he's looked every single day. So, you know, I reckon he's got it. The idol? Yeah, and he hasn't even looked today. So that's a bit suspicious, isn't it? Yeah. So should we try and take a shot at them? I think so. Yep, okay. As much as I'm angry at Lena and Lindsay and I want to take them out, I think that would just be a bit of a waste of time because they're two people I can still see myself getting to work with me, especially Lena. Not much Lindsay, but Lena. If I can pull her heartstrings a bit or just socialize with her more, I think I could use her as votes still and that is a good friend. And Charles, I know Ned has the idol clue, but Charles is suspicious because he hasn't looked for the idol, which he's done the last 8 days, so I can't help but think he's got it. As much as I want to make a move on Lindsay and Lena, I think it's best that I just go with what Sarah's doing and Marjorie's doing, because if we do have a majority, it makes sense to just go with the majority. Just go with the flow. Because if you don't, you kind of come across as like a bit of an ass. And I don't want that, because I want to get to the merge. So, have you talked to Sarah and Lucas? Yep, they thought that you and Ned were probably the best options to work with. Did they say anything bad, though, about me and Ned? They said Ned was a bit untrustworthy, but they didn't really say anything bad about you. So you're, convincing them that I'm a good person? Well, I'm obviously doing it a bit slow, but yes, I'm trying. Thank you, that's all I really wanted. As much as I think Mike's trying to play me and use me as his social game, which I think he's trying to do, which is honestly quite smart, I want to work with him because, well, me and Mike could be a good duo, and it makes more options for me once he gets merged, because I can either work with Sarah or Lucas or whoever Mike's got, and that's honestly perfect for a very good strategic game, because you need numbers for a strategic game. So the three of them are willing to work with us. So we have swing votes tonight, essentially. Yeah, we kind of weaseled our way into that position, which is great. Yeah, a little bit of pressure, but honestly, who do we prefer? Charles, yeah, he's a loose cannon, but is he the biggest strategic move? Would it make sense to go more with Marjorie? Well, I like Marjorie, but I'm personally willing to go with whatever you want to go with. As much as I like Ned, I personally like Marjorie more, so I don't want to get rid of Marjorie. Of course I wouldn't. And, well, I don't really like Charles. I think he's untrustworthy. So I'm putting Charles' name down regardless, which might be a bit dumb because if Ned does put down Marjorie's name, then we go to a tie. So that might make me second guess the decision. So really, I'm probably going to put Charles' name down. But if we go to a revote, I might have to reconsider putting Marjorie's name down, because I don't want to go to Rocks in our first ever tribal council. Maybe later in the game, but not right now. Where do you sit? Well, I'm putting Charles' name down, I think. I trust Marjorie more. Yeah, but Marjorie's like a really big strategic threat. Personally, I think we should put down Marjorie's name. Why? As I said, she's a very big strategic threat, and I think Socially, she's gonna be okay, and physically, she's gonna be overlooked because she's old. She'll be so under the radar, and she'll be making big moves as well. I see that, but I just trust her more than Charles. Mike might end up irritating me because, well, he's not really gonna follow me, which makes sense, but I want power, and I kinda need Mike to cooperate with me right now. And I want to get rid of Marjorie because I think she's more of a strategic threat, but if he's not going to put down her name, there's no point in going to a draw or even rocks. But at the same time, if I poke him a little bit and put Marjorie's name down and then send it to a tie, he might not want to go to rocks. Am I willing to take the gamble? No, that's the question. Welcome, Tiawaka, to your first tribal council. So Lucas, you guys won the first 2 immunity challenges. Where did it all go wrong today? Well, essentially, Jeff, I just think they outsmarted us overall. Their plan to skip the second platform was really smart. And when we tried it, it kind of didn't work. And so, well, we lost because I think they outsmarted us. I think that's just the bottom line of everything. Lindsay, you've had a little bit more time to bond than Te'ika did. You've had 9 days and you haven't had to vote anybody out. How does it feel voting somebody out tonight? It's tough, especially because what you said, like we, as a group, are very close, and I think voting somebody out will be quite sad. Charles, you kind of slowed your team down at the early stages. How do you feel? Nervous, but at the same time, we did catch up. So I don't really think the thing that happened to me should really define the reason why we lost. And then they just kind of outsmarted us. I think that's the reason why we lost. So Marjorie, you set out. Do you think you could be perceived as one of the weakest people in this tribe? Well, I'm old, Jeff, so I wouldn't be surprised, but at the same time I think that's relatively dumb because I did help them win the challenge with the puzzle. The only reason why I set out because there was no puzzle. So yes, that I could be perceived as weak, but I think that would just be a bit idiotic. So, Mike, I must ask, are you nervous? I'm nervous more about making the wrong decision than about being voted out, to be honest, Jeff. Okay, well that it is. Time to vote. Ned, you'll start us off. Charles, I'm voting you out tonight because, well, you came after me, so it's pretty self-explanatory. Marjorie, I don't think people see it, but you are the biggest threat in this game. I hope you go home tonight. I'll tally the votes. Person with the most votes must leave the tribal council area immediately. I'll read the votes. First vote, Charles. Second vote, Marjorie. That's 1 vote Charles, 1 vote Marjorie. Third vote, Charles. That's 2 votes Charles, 1 vote Marjorie. Fourth vote, Marjorie. We're tied again. 2 votes Charles, 2 votes Marjorie, 4 votes left. Fifth vote, Charles. That's 3 votes Charles. Sixth vote, Marjorie. That's 3 votes Marjorie, 3 votes Charles, 2 votes left. Seventh vote, Charles. That's 4 votes Charles, 3 votes Marjorie, 1 vote left. The 8th vote, and the third person voted out of Survivor New Zealand. Charles. Charles, that's 5. That's enough for tonight. I'll need you to bring me your torch. Charles, the tribe has spoken. It's time for you to go. Well, like the other tribe, your first tribal council, and you have a divided decision. How many more decisions and tribal councils will you have as a group? Only time will tell. Grab your torches and back to camp. Good night. Well, I got completely blindsided because honestly, before we got into tribal, I thought I had the numbers. I don't exactly know who flipped. I presume it was Ned and Mike. I'm pretty sure Lena and Lindsay would have stuck to their plan, so Ned and Mike probably were the ones to flip. I don't really blame them. Hopefully there was a reason behind the move, not that they just didn't like me for any reason. I just hope that the move they made was purely strategic, not for just random reasons. I'm a little bit upset. I'm upset about myself, most importantly, because of the bad start I made. It was completely my fault why I'm here. And honestly, good luck, Te Waka.